Rico.
You want to stay tuned to this because I'm going to talk to the mayor in just a minute here on CNN. I'm also going to talk to presidential candidate Julian Castro, who said this today about the president.
He is so caught up in his own ego that he can't even do the work of a president to make sure that the federal government is properly responding to protect the people of Puerto Rico.
And there is this. This is from candidate Joe Biden. Quote, "What kind of leader taunts their own people as they prepare for a natural disaster?" And all this comes after the president yesterday repeated his false claim that Congress approved $92 billion in aid for Puerto Rico last year. Okay, listen, the facts first here on this show. CNN's fact checker extraordinaire Daniel Dale points out that Congress has not approved $92 billion for Puerto Rico. That's a long-term cost estimate. That FEMA says that $43 billion has actually been allocated, $13.8 billion has actually been spent, which is a long way from $92 billion, no matter how many times the president falsely claims that. And then there's the Trump administration's plan to shift $155 million from FEMA's disaster relief fund, money that could be used for hurricane relief, to its immigration crackdown at the border wall. They're shifting money from disaster relief to immigration with a hurricane threatening. That is not a good look. A FEMA spokeswoman says that they'll still have enough money, but acknowledges the challenges of responding to Dorian on top of what she called the complex recovery effort from earlier storms. This is a time when the American people would have every reason to expect their president to stand by them. Puerto Ricans are American people. To stand by them, to be a leader. But this president is consumed by his feuds with anybody he views as an enemy. He's rattled by warning signs on the economy and scrambling to come up with something, anything he can, to point to as a campaign promise fulfilled with 2020 on the horizon. So he doubles, triples, quadruples down on his main campaign promise, the border wall. Tweeting that it is, his words, going up very fast despite total obstruction by Democrats in Congress and elsewhere. That
Donald Trump is not a good
the
dude.
fact is, again, facts first, Customs and Border Patrol has told CNN precisely zero miles of border barriers have been built where none existed before. They've only replaced about 60 miles of dilapidated barrier, which is not at all what the president is claiming. And there is more. Two officials tell CNN the president recently said that he would pardon them if they had to break laws to get his wall built by 2020. Washington Post broke the story. The president is blasting the story, insisting that it is not true. Well, his spokesman claiming that he was kidding. But where have I heard something like that before? Oh, yeah. Back in April, when senior administration officials told CNN the president offered a pardon to then CBP Commissioner Kevin McAleenan if he were sent to jail for having border agents block asylum seekers from entering the U.S. in defiance of the law. Maybe he was kidding then too. Maybe not. Maybe not a good idea to kid about that kind of thing. And what may be the clearest sign of just how rattled this president is about his re-election prospect, it seems that he is breaking up with his BFFs over at the Fox News channel. Well, some of them anyway. The ones who aren't telling him exactly what he wants to hear. The ones who aren't being cheerleaders for this president and his administration. The president tweeting this. The new Fox News is letting millions of great people down. We have to start looking for a new news outlet. Fox isn't working for us anymore. Did you hear that? President saying Fox isn't working for us anymore. That is pretty clear. The president assumed that the network would always be an unquestioning mouthpiece for him and his supporters, no matter what. And now he thinks that they just They're just not loyal enough. Just listen to what he said last week.
There's something going on at Fox, I'll tell you right now, and I'm not happy with it.
Oh, and that's where we are right now. The President of the United States spinning, blaming, distracting, and deflecting with 2020 looming. I mentioned that this is the 56th anniversary of the March on Washington and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Could any of the people on that mall that day have imagined where we are right now? And there's another anniversary today. Chris and I talked about it just a few minutes ago. This is the 5th anniversary of what could be called Tan Suit Day. Tan Suit Gate? Tan Suit? I don't know. Tan Suit or something? Those were the days, right? That was a scandal. The day that President Barack Obama gave a news conference at the White House and all anybody could talk about was his tan suit. The horror! A tan suit. How dare you? How dare you, President Obama, do what other presidents have done and wear a tan suit? How unpresidential. That's how some people saw it then. Just 5 years ago. How things have changed. Boy, the way Glenn Miller played. Florida bracing for what could be a wild weekend with Hurricane Dorian gaining strength and taking aim at the state. We're gonna go to the CNN Weather Center for the latest forecast. That's next.
Anyone can deliver pizza. Only Marco's can deliver America's most loved pizza. Hot and fresh.